You know what's crazy about trust? You think it's solid, that nothing can break it. But then one moment changes everything. I'm Sophie, I'm 29, and 4 weeks ago, my life took a turn I never expected. But let me start from the beginning, because this whole mess started way before that night out. I had been dating Tom for 3 years. Nothing special, just a steady relationship. You know the kind, comfortable, predictable, and safe. He was my best friend and my partner, someone who always had my back. We weren't perfect, but I thought we were good. We had our routines, dinners on Sundays, quiet nights in front of the TV, the occasional weekend trip. We didn't fight often, it was more like we were just going through the motions. And maybe that's where things started to slip. I didn't realize it at first, but I was starting to feel bored. Not unhappy, not angry, just empty. Like there was a part of me that wasn't really being seen or understood. I loved Tom, but the spark was gone. And I wasn't the only one who noticed. One evening, I found myself at a friend's party, a gathering full of familiar faces, laughing and talking. But there was one person I didn't expect to see, Mike. My ex. We hadn't spoken in years, not since college, and back then, we were inseparable. The relationship had ended when he got a job offer across the country, and we decided it was best to part ways. No hard feelings. But when I saw him at that party, something inside me stirred. Mike looked different, more confident, more successful. He was no longer the shy, uncertain guy I once knew. He was a man who had his life together, and there was something magnetic about him. We got talking, just catching up, but I couldn't help but feel that old connection we had. It was like no time had passed. We shared old jokes, laughed about our college days, and soon enough, we were sitting close to each other in the corner of the room. And then it happened. He leaned in and we kissed. It wasn't planned, it wasn't intentional, but it was real. I pulled away immediately, feeling guilty, feeling like I'd just crossed a line I shouldn't have. But Mike, he smiled. It's okay, sophomore. We're just remembering the good times, right? And for a split second, I wanted to believe that. I wanted to believe it was just a kiss between two old friends, nothing more. But deep down, I knew it was more than that. It meant something. As the night went on, I tried to shake it off. But I couldn't. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And when I got home, Tom was waiting for me. He didn't say anything about the party, but he was quiet. Too quiet. And then I started feeling guilty, like I was hiding something from him. That's when I decided I needed to tell him. But how do you confess something like that? How do you explain that you kissed your ex, someone you once loved, someone who you'd shared a part of your soul with, and then tell your boyfriend, the man you're with now, that it meant nothing? I didn't know. But I knew I had to say something. The next day, I sat Tom down in the living room. Tom, I need to tell you something, I said, my voice shaking a little. He looked at me, his brow furrowed. What's going on, Soph? I could see the concern in his eyes, but I didn't know how to explain the mess I had gotten myself into. I kissed Mike last night, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. His face fell. He didn't say anything at first. I could feel the weight of the silence between us. I'm sorry, Tom. It was a mistake. I don't know what I was thinking, but it meant nothing. You're the one I want. But he just stared at me, his eyes dark with confusion and hurt. So that's it, he finally said. You kissed your ex, and it meant nothing? I nodded, but I could see the disappointment in his eyes. The trust was gone. I could feel it. You don't need to say anything more, sophomore. I can't just pretend like nothing happened. And just like that, the distance between us grew. The thing about Tom is he's not the kind of guy to scream or shout. He doesn't yell. He just shuts down. And that's exactly what he did. He pulled away, emotionally. Over the next few days, I could feel the coldness in the air between us. Tom wasn't angry. He wasn't even sad. He was just distant. He didn't talk to me like he used to. He didn't touch me the same way. It was like the space between us had grown so wide, we couldn't bridge it anymore. I tried to make things right. I apologized over and over, but nothing worked. Every time I looked at Tom, I could see the hurt in his eyes. The trust was broken, and no amount of apologies would fix it. And then I realized something. I wasn't just losing Tom because of the kiss. I was losing him because of the way I'd let myself drift away. I hadn't just kissed Mike, I had allowed myself to disconnect from Tom long before that moment. The kiss was just a symptom of a bigger problem, one I had ignored for too long. But now it was too late to fix. Tom started spending more time at work, avoiding the conversations we needed to have. He didn't yell at me, he didn't throw things, but the silence was worse than any argument. It was like I wasn't even there anymore. And then one day, he told me he couldn't do this anymore. I can't be with someone who doesn't trust me, he said, his voice barely audible. I'm done. I didn't fight him. What was the point? He was right. He deserved someone who would never betray his trust, someone who was fully present. I wasn't that person anymore. And just like that, we were over. I didn't know what to feel. I didn't know if I was relieved or heartbroken. I just knew that everything I had taken for granted was gone. I tried to reach out to Mike, but he was distant too. It was like he didn't want to get involved in my mess. And maybe he was right. Maybe I had to face this on my own.
So here I am.
Alone. Trying to make sense of everything that happened. I wish I could say that everything happens for a reason, that I learned some big lesson from all of this. But the truth is, I don't have any answers. I just know that one moment changed everything. I destroyed something good, and now I have to live with the consequences. And I have to figure out how to move forward, even though I'm not sure where I'm going. All I know is this. Be careful with trust, because once it's broken, it's hard to fix. Maybe you can't fix it at all.